This one, so
Chee-hoo!
hopefully I don't forget. Okay. No, it's not gonna make you cry, for sure. It's I guess you can say it's a happy one.
Swoon?
Okay, so title is "There I Was," and hopefully you can follow along, and hopefully you'll understand what I'm trying to say. Okay. There I was, waiting for a chance to get to know her, hoping that she'll understand the things I want to say when I finally build up enough courage to say it. But I just can't seem to approach her. Well, at least now right away. You see, I used to be poisoned with explosion of emotions, but I've learned to use passion as my potion, so her and I plus devotion is like poetry in slow motion. And yet, I'm still completely clueless on how to break the ice, knowing that mere words will not suffice since action is actually needed for her to notice me now. Do I put her in notice that I'm noticing her, noticing me, but there's no teasing her, so I just want to give her notice that I notice her too?
Well.
Nah, that's foolish. See, I ramble when I'm nervous, and while I notice her too, I know this hurts too, believing that she's out of my league and she might be hardly intrigued by the things I'm gonna say, cause I tend not to think when I'm nervous. Learning the typical rhymes of emotion won't work during these critical times of devotion, since my heart won't be in harmony with my mind, and when that happens, any further effort would just be insignificant. You see, when your feelings and thoughts are not in conjunction, a dysfunctional outcome is inevitable. Because while the mind can't feel, the heart doesn't think, so I need both to be in sync before I can approach her. See, when a person starts talking without thinking, they're practically speaking through the other hole that's in between those other cheeks, so before I can approach her, I must refrain from causing any commotion, but rather keep my motives in a positive, constant motion. No longer will I use immature, corny pickup lines such as, "Baby, if you were words on a page, you'd be what they call fine print." I need to stop verbalizing and start exercising my feelings, because actions speak louder than words, and that will give her the impression that she's actually talking to a man rather than a monkey. There's no need to be funky. I just need to show her that I actually care, because she's probably really tired of being lied to by a bunch of hollowed minds living on borrowed time, so don't know any better. She has realized it being spoken but not heard, since most people nowadays seem to be more fascinated by the things that are fabricated. And the infantile ignorance that the boys that used to approach her has caused her heart to be doubtful, so she has this wall up so high that no one can climb over. But I'll try to find a way to get around it or even go through it. So I told myself not to be afraid to dare and show that I care, because passing up the opportunity to get to know her is just too much of a burden to bear. And she's still probably periodically purposely persecuted by the boys who keep trying to get to know her but have no idea how to approach her. Just like me. The difference is, I'm going to let her know that she's always on my mind, and someday I want to make her mine, and she's the reason for my motivations, the one that makes me grind. And let me tell you something. She's so special. There are no duplicates, replicates, or alternates to find. She's a unique individual, the only of her kind, so there's absolutely no need for fame or game. It's simply how her first name sounds so good next to my last name. And this is exactly the reason why I love to bring her flowers every day.
Bah.
Bring me great pleasure to write plenty of beautiful things about her, telling her everything she needs to hear to let her know that I will always be here. Kind of like when Meg Ryan got mail from Tom Hanks while he was sleepless in Seattle. And I also want to talk to her until I lose my breath, because she leaves me breathless, but with a glimpse of her enigmatic smile, she becomes my oxygen, and I'm able to inhale all of her back into me. You see, she makes me feel alive, elated, and she also makes me feel elevated. So why don't you come take a peek at the peak with me, and you'll realize how there's no word to describe or even begin to convey the feeling that she makes me feel at the beginning of each day whenever she's saying, "Hello." A million kisses from her will never be enough, and a billion arms will never be enough, because a million kisses from her will never be too much, and circumstances may try to prevent me from getting to know her, but nothing will ever be strong enough. I want to be with her in paradise, yet I'm afraid forever still isn't long enough. Well, there I was, and here I am now, still completely clueless on how to approach her. But hopefully there I will be. And hopefully it's with her.
Woo!